A while ago now, the then called Cubecraft League started, and so far, it's sucked. In this video, I'm going to share my thoughts on it, talk about the good aspects and the bad, and give overall improvement tips about things I think could have been done better. I'll mostly be talking about the bedrock portion of this event, since that's the version I play on and the side of the tournament I'm most invested in. Hope you enjoy. The first thing I want to talk about is the communication from the staff prior to and during the event. From my perspective, set communication was pretty poor. I found out about the event via after a good friend of mine invited me to join their team. I didn't end up participating due to me having to study for exams, but that aside, I still found it strange I hadn't seen any big announcement for this tournament before that time. Then for the communication during the event, there were some significant issues as well, which I'll get into now. The rules regarding in-game issues or crashes, connection issues and such were very vague, but it basically boiled down to you're on your own. One example of this was in the match with Dragon Egg against Team Blackcraft, where two players crashed in a single game. The rules were then pretty accurately described by the commentator.
Got some chests over here. The rules with crashes are if you crash, you're on your own.
There were also many other moments players had connection issues and latency issues, and one of these instances was in the match of IMR Clan versus Holy Noms, where one player on the IMR team couldn't see their opponent, which resulted in an egg break and eventually a match loss. The players alerted the staff multiple times, but they didn't seem to want to reply. Halfway through the second game, staff finally responded and said this was a client-side issue related to a pack the player was using. It would somehow therefore be their own fault, and the staff wasn't obligated to take any action. Even though this bug is something that happens without using any packs as well. It's happened to me numerous times, and I believe it's a latency issue, and other people have said so as well. Lastly, in the match between Team Kuyo and Krythos, Kuyo shared the party game code with another one of their team members, allowing them to spectate the game. Something which they claimed was permitted by the rules, which, if you look at the rules, it's not, and it's one of the blacklist offenses which can get you kicked out of the tournament and any future tournament. Staff also agreed this could have caused the team to have an unfair advantage, but no action was taken whatsoever. Now, for game rules. There weren't many in-game rules, aside from the obvious no cheating, no trolling, and no toxicity. This was an issue for a variety of reasons. Firstly, it's completely different from how Echo scrims used to work, back when I was active in that community, even before that, and before the update that killed the game mode, which I'll let Chaostica explain in a fragment of the now unlisted video.
During the summer, Cubecraft released their new Egg Wars update. It completely changed every mechanic in Egg Wars, everything from the health to the main type of block. The update made scrimming completely unviable, as all of the players who had invested so much time into Cubecraft scrims were thrown into gameplay similar to that of Hive.
Back then, there were rules regarding kits and rules that banned certain items, since the entire game was different than it is today. I'm pretty sure we used to have an emerald shop, which included items like a strength potion, a lead feather, and blast balls. From those items, only the lead feather was allowed in competitive scrims, since it wasn't too overpowered. Now, strength potions and blast balls are buyable with diamonds, and the emerald shop is now a perk shop, for which the CCL team should have probably also set limitations and regulations, which they didn't. This led to moments like this one, where a strength potion combined with the no health regeneration perk caused a two-man wipe in basically no time, making the game slightly anticlimactic. There were also no rules concerning deathmatch, when after 20 minutes, both teams' eggs would be broken, and they had to go to middle and fight until one team won the match. This led to a great deal of confusion among players who used the scrim. For example, when two players fled onto the top of the crown on royalty, basically camping, or when teams were being bowed at and shot with blast balls before they even made it to mid, when they were supposed to fight a deathmatch. The clip I'm showing you right now is already at 400% speed, so you can probably imagine what it was like watching this in real time. This was also visibly frustrating for the players that had to painstakingly make their way over to the middle of the map. Some rules were also sort of strange and combined with no explanation given for certain warnings did make for pretty funny moments, at least in my opinion. I mean, they're giving out a yellow card like it's football. That's pretty funny. Next, I want to comment on the bracket and match scheduling. The tournament bracket was, as far as I know, made by a random lottery or something similar. Now, I understand this is probably not to show any favor to any one team, or because it's the easiest to do for the staff, but the way this worked out, it was absolutely horrid. You have two of the most notable teams in the event, Gustambos and Zambia Bypass, fight in round 1, just like IMR and Holy Nons. Then in round 2, Zambia Bypass and Team Kuyo, arguably the two best teams in the tournament, already played each other, just like Holy Nons and Slayers. This led to a pretty boring third round to the tournament, since half of the more notable teams in the event was already eliminated. The teams like Holy Nons and Zambia Bypass that should have probably made it decently far into the tournament or all the way to the end, now went out shared 18th place. The match scheduling was done by the event staff at first, but I think after a while they realized that maybe they should let the teams schedule a date and time within a certain period to make things more fair. This was only decided sometime after one of the best teams in the tournament, that Rutgers, was disqualified though. Their match had been scheduled at midnight due to the opposing team being from a different region, and from what I can tell, it had also not been properly confirmed and they were eliminated from the tournament when they didn't show up. In the later stages of the tournament, team captains were given shorter and shorter time periods to schedule their matches, eventually being given a period of a single week. This naturally caused frustration as some teams were unable to play with their main lineup and at a reasonable time. I also want to briefly mention the fact that there were 15 teams that didn't play a single match, which is kinda crazy and pissed me off. Every match was streamed on a Cubecraft League YouTube channel. There was a lot wrong with these streams as well. One issue was the silence in most of the streams. There wasn't any commentary at first, and sometimes the game sound was too quiet as well, so you'd just be watching silent gameplay. Even when there was commentary, it wasn't always a grand success.
Oh my god, this is commentary. This is gonna be the best commentary you've ever seen of competitive Cubecraft.
There were instances of the second game not being played or not being streamed as well, or the end of the first game being cut off by the person streaming entirely, which frustrated people watching quite a bit. They also did stream of playing minigames after a match was cancelled, which is strange for a channel meant to stream tournament matches, which some other people also picked up on. Lastly, and this might be a bit of a personal issue with the league, I thought the staff didn't always act professionally during the matches. Here you can see someone saying a certain team will likely win the next game, and the other seemingly agreeing to it and being happy about it, I guess. Then there was the chat after a game win, or a match win. Staff could be seen chatting in a way that made it seem like they were happy about the result of the match played. For example, typing victory in all uppercase or writing bingo. Not to take away anything from the work these people put into the event, streaming, providing commentary, organizing this, but they did this every single game. It may just be me, but if I'm playing and I lose, I wouldn't want to see someone typing victory in chat. That would make me mad. Anyway, all the negative stuff aside, of course there were also genuinely fun moments and matches that were enjoyable to watch. Some of the highlight matches are Los Boludos against Beans and Rice, Los Boludos against Team Kuyo, and Los Boludos against BKDR SOJ. Bro, whoever came up with that name has autism. And then Zambia Bypass against Gustambos, as well as Zambia Bypass against Team Kuyo. And I know you're thinking, why only highlight the matches of two specific teams? Well, These matches were the ones with overall the highest level of gameplay I saw in the entire league. I was really impressed by Las Pelotas' performance in particular, and in my opinion, the MVP of the entire tournament, even though they didn't win the event, is one of their players, Rolo. This guy played out of his mind. There are also moments of great commentary, mostly provided by NLT and M. Dean. They give insight on some maps and strategies, make some great commentator calls, and I just want to give a special thanks to these two for the amazing job they did. You two saved the league, bro. Here's a small collection of commentary clips I wanted to highlight because I thought they were fun or great.
Okay, now they're actually hungry for more, apparently. And okay, they just fell.
They run away in danger because they know that the end is near.
This is map knowledge here. Western has this... Well, that wasn't map knowledge.
All in all, I think this tournament could have been way better organized, and many improvements could have been made. From the staff's communication to a very, very boring 3-0 final match, which the viewers were not pleased with, to say the least. Again, a shout out to NLT and M. Dean, who made the latter half of the tournament at least slightly enjoyable to watch. That's it for my thoughts on Cubecraft League. I hope the team uses this as an opportunity to learn and do better in the next section, which I believe will be Capture the Flag. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you some other time.